Welcome everyone to the first edition of the Journey to Solaria series, a podcast of sorts in which I go around the internet and teach myself how to use AI. Thank you very much for joining me today. So you may be asking yourself, Carlos, what is this podcast all about? Why are you starting it right now? So let me give you a brief rundown of what's happening on my side of things. I recently got laid off from my last place of employment, and as I was looking through the available job openings, it was very quickly apparent that there's a lot of AI-focused or AI-centric jobs on demand. This is not only on the coding or programming side of things, everything is starting to shift to also include AI in your workflow. So, since I need to get up to speed, I thought it would be a fun experiment to record my journey and then share it in a format that is easy to review for future reference, easy to share, and hopefully entertaining to listen to. Since I'm not a highly technical person myself, I also hope that these recordings help as a template that someone else could use when getting into AI themselves and realize that the technical barrier is not as high as it may initially seem like. With that being said, let's jump right in. As the title of this podcast implies, this whole exercise is a journey. Journeys have an ending, they have a process, but more relevant to our current episode, they have a beginning. So to provide some context and serve as a you are here kind of moment, I will give a very quick recount of my career path and the decisions that have led me to my current standing point. I have an engineering degree in graphic design and animation. That was correct, I am a design engineer. We do exist out there. And with this mixed bag of skills, I started a career path that was mostly geared towards freelancing and startups. During this phase, I had some amazing chances to collaborate with different companies that were mostly working with deep tech on different time periods, of course. So I went from trying IoT to some InfoSec, Web3, crypto, and more recently AI. And this is actually where my notion that I had a good understanding of AI came from. I did have a lot of conversations about how tuning a model works, what type of algorithm we were giving the model to make it faster or to get to a certain type of knowledge quicker. But this is all very back-end stuff. It's not really something that you can just then immediately implement unless you're actually coding the whole thing, right? So in summary, we're going to be looking at it from the perspective of a designer that is not completely terrified by the sight of an IDE screen with some code in it. From this point on, in order to index the information a little bit easier and to prevent you from getting completely tired of hearing me yap into the microphone, I'm going to be introducing my host and robot buddy, Fex.
Hello, thank you for having me. Now that we know where you stand, where is this journey taking us?
The point of this whole exercise is to learn about how AI is used and configured at what I call the mid-level. For reference, if AI was set up as a pyramid or a staircase, the high-level applications would be consumer-ready apps. Think about, for example, a ChatGPT window in which you input a question and you get an answer, or you send in a PDF document and ask for a translation and you get something in return. So something that's ready to be used. A low level, on the other hand, would be the back end of the whole system. What model is being used? How has it been trained? What type of algorithms and info sources are being used? And the mid-level would be the place where both of these parts come together and how they interact with each other. So neither the actual interface nor the components that make up the model and the back end of the AI, but rather how both of those components interact to solve a challenge that has been posed for an organization or a subject, which is where I would most likely be collaborating with someone. And it's also the difference between being an AI consumer and someone that harnesses a little bit more of the power of AI towards a certain goal.
Interesting. What can we expect from this journey?
As far as expectations go, I have two main objectives to get from this journey, as well as an additional third that is not completely related to the main objectives, but I'm still very excited about. So for the main objectives is, as I just said, I wish to gain some mid-level knowledge of AI systems and their makeup, mainly to actually be able to implement something that can be used toward a specific purpose. My second objective is that this journey actually leaves some footprints, to call them a certain way, behind me. That is, I wish to complete certifications, laboratories, or have many small implementations afterwards that I can actually show for the knowledge that I've gained. These would also include periodic chime-ins to this podcast in which I can comment on the progress and the insights I've made along the way, probably recommend a course that I found that was very insightful, and share the general knowledge I've gained every once in a while. This is actually where the third unrelated objective comes in. I've been interested in content creation for a while now, so I hope that as my AI journey advances, this podcast also advances and we start getting better audio, probably a video feed, and who knows, maybe a guest here or there.
That all sounds delightful, but I believe we've taken enough time from the audience.
Right, you are, Fex. Thank you for making it this far in. I'm super excited to start this journey alongside you, and I really hope that if you have any insights, comments, or general feedback along the way, that you would be willing to share it with me in order to make this whole experience better. Thank you very much, and have an excellent rest of your day.